Welcome back to Simply Bitcoin. It's the weekend recap. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, the meme review, software releases, hardware releases, websites by plebs or plebs when we got them. Drop us a like, subscribe. You know where we're going. It's number time. Let's do it.
Number time!
At the time of this recording, the block height is 694,960. The Bitcoin price, 45,890. Chain rewrite days, 1,024. Total public lightning capacity, another all-time high, 2,213.52 sats per dollar. Wow, that dropped quick. 2,179. And I said, we're adding some new metrics here. Well, the days since all-time high, 117. And I figured I'd add how many blocks until the next halvening, right? Is it halvening or is it having? I call it the halvening. But anyways, 145,040. So yeah, I figured I would add that in, just for the hell of it, just so that we can keep track as to when the next halvening is. Now people are gonna freak out and be like, "It's not halvening. You can't spell, can't speak.
It's having.
Well, don't you get it?
Well, it's Nico, so I could, you guys know I can't speak. You guys are gonna have to stuck with
speak.
But no, it's not that I can't read. It's not that I can't speak. I just can't pronounce it. But I could read it in my head perfectly fine. But when it tries to come out of my mouth, it's like it's word garbage. But anyways, listen. In regards to the numbers, dude. Solid numbers. Recovery, the hash rate is recovering again. The Lightning Network there's never been as much BTC in the liquidity, whatever. Phil, you know more about this than I do, but man, it's just overall bullish. Holy crap. You guys, did you realize what we've been through today? Okay, we've been attacked by the U.S. Senate, right? Specifically the Treasury. We got attacked by China. And we're still here, and we're still going up. Honey Badger doesn't give a fuck about all this fiat bullshit. Anyways, I'm excited.
They hate Mr. Bitcoin.
They do.
He just won't, Mr. Bitcoin just won't die, and they don't understand why.
It's like, why doesn't this thing go away? And it just keeps on chugging along. It's a central bank nightmare. You guys
try harder.
You guys should be scared. It's going to come eat your lunch. You guys have a terminal disease, and it's called Bitcoin. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. All right, everyone. Last week I promised, right? I said, okay, we're going to end up having 2 rug pulls. Well, this is the second one. Okay, this is another shitcoin. So this is we're having a second rug pull this week, but I've got another treat that we're going to add to this rug pull just to really help get the point across. Okay, but let's dive into this rug pull, and with a name like Levyathan, you know that this is going to become money. That this is some secure stuff, okay? This is the stuff dreams are made of, right? The bags, they pump forever. Okay, here we go. Another TVL taken by mysterious monster. Oh, I don't even know what a TVL is. I don't even care. Leviathan Index sank last week along with its TVL of 1.5 million. Basic errors led to total destruction. Bad intentions or just raw incompetence? You decide. Well, let's take a look at the article. Okay, like there's a nice piece that describes it, and we're gonna dive into it a little bit, right, so that we can get a feel for this rug pull. And again, is this incompetence or was it just scamminess? I am personally going to go with the scamminess, but let's see here. I hate that the little screen drops down. The little zoom screen, it drops down and makes it so you can't click on the window. Okay, here we go. Leviathan wrecked. Okay, it's from the 5th of August. Okay, so this was, got this last week, but here we go. All right, let's dive into it. Another TVL taken by a mysterious monster. Okay, and we already read the headline, 1.5 million. The team has since issued a few tone-deaf tweets and long-winded Medium posts trying to shift the blame, but we'll tell you how we see it. The Leviathan developers left the private keys to a wallet with minting capability available on GitHub. Not centralized. Like I just want everybody to realize what just happened here. They left the private keys to a wallet with minting capability, right, on GitHub, so that anybody can take a look at this. Anyways, here we go. Okay, 4 months later, these keys were used to mint and dump LEV into Oblivion. LEV being this Levyathan token. Okay, so here we go. Afterwards, when users tried to redeem what was left of their money, a bug in the withdrawal mechanism meant that their worthless tokens were also irretrievable. Okay? Look, have a nice day, said the Levyathan admins. I mean, this is... So hold on. Let's keep going in this, okay? Because it actually gets... We told you guys that this is rug pull technology. Like, we're not just making this up. I've been rug pulled myself. Anyways, here we go. Okay, as a result of the exploit, users were forced to use emergency withdraw to attempt to retrieve their staked tokens. Proof of stake. What a great system. Anyways, and I know that's not a slam on the proof of stake in terms of this shitcoin, but it just goes to show, look at what happens, right? Garbage platform, and what are they using? Garbage algorithms. Anyways, however, the emergency withdrawal logic contained a bug which referenced reward debt, a variable related to reward calculation, instead of user amount as the quantity of tokens to be withdrawn. Okay? So in their post-mortem, Levyathan provided an address to which users could return funds in an anonymous manner, which has received 3 billion dog tokens and one, yeah, that's right, folks, one plug anal. I really want that to sink in, okay? Like, when you're sitting there and you're thinking of investment opportunities, or you're thinking of taking a risk, I want you to picture putting your hard-earned money that came from the time you're never going to get back, okay? I want you to picture putting that into plug anal and saying to yourself, I am making a good decision here. Anyways, let's finish it up. What a shit show. Leaving clearly labeled private keys visible on a public repo is unthinkable, especially when they grant access to total control, no multi-sig, over your protocol's native token. And guys, we're going to finish this off with a link I ended up finding in Rect HQ. This is fantastic. You know how they try to give you this total nonsense bullshit that, well, this contract was audited. There shouldn't be any problems. Well, we found this really interesting rect.news leaderboard, and let's take a look at some of these projects. Now, some of them were unaudited, like EasyFi that lost $59 million on the 19th of April, but some of them, looks like the auditing doesn't actually mean anything. This is audited by QuantStamp, which is some other shitcoin from way back in the day that offers auditing services. Why it would become money, who knows, but that doesn't even matter. So this was audited by QuantStamp and PeckShield. Still lost. They still lost $37 million at Alpha Finance. Spartan Protocol, $30 million, and they were audited by Certic. Look at this one. Oh, Popsicle Finance. We all remember that one from last week, right? The melting iceberg. Hey, Popsicle Finance, $20 million. They were also audited. Guys, auditing is a scam. They tell you that all it's meant to do is create a false layer of security. Okay? And we're going to just keep bringing more of these stories, but Nico, man, I mean, what...
Dude,
what do you think? I mean,
this is like TV gold, bro. Like,
are they dead yet?
Listen, like, we're an entertainment Bitcoin news channel, right? But like, I'm just gonna add on top of that, now we've become a comedy channel as well, because this shit is just so funny, man. I can't believe people keep falling for this. It's like happens over and over again. And I'm gonna kind of borrow something that Ben Kaufman came on yesterday, and he's a very well experienced developer. He developed the Spectre wallet, which is one of the best Bitcoin wallets there is right now. And he said it himself. I used to work, to quote him, I used to work in smart contracts, and they're incredibly hard to keep secure, right? So, and why is that? Because it's very simple. Very few people know how to read what is actually in the smart contract. And number two, the person that controls the smart contract is essentially God, right? And that's essentially what you saw in, in this this Leviathan garbage, right? There was a key, there was a private key that essentially gave the people the power of the unlimited money printer. Except this time, it's not the unlimited money printer of fiat dollars; it's the unlimited money printer of Leviathan garbage. And then you saw it in the graph when we were pointing it out. It just dumped. But it's like, man, it's just so obvious. And I want to give a shout out to that person who developed that website. Okay, because what is it called? Rec.news or something?
Yeah.
Man, shout out to that person, man, calling out the scams. And there you go. Listen, guys, even though you see that, a shitcoin says, look, we're audited. Our smart contract is audited, right? I think we've shown you plenty of examples that audits don't mean crap. And again, have a long time preference. You buy Bitcoin, you can't get rug pulled. You buy Bitcoin, take it into self-custody, and none of this is going to happen to you, right? And again, you might not be that 1 in 10,000 people that gets that 100x out of total luck, but I guarantee you that if you hold Bitcoin for at least 4 years, no one has ever lost money holding Bitcoin for 4 years, at least one cycle, right? And what tends to happen is that you multiply your original investment. So it just goes to show, are you going to take the short way, try to get rich quick? Or are you just going to constantly dollar cost average, put your money into Bitcoin, have a long time preference, and you will get significantly wealthier over time? Bitcoin is literally built to go up. That's the key here, right? So yeah, man, it's unnecessary risks. Dump your shit coins if you already have them. We saw some people in the comments that did just that, right? Dump those shit coins. Buy yourself some Bitcoin, don't buy anything else, and keep putting as much money as you could possibly afford. Put that into Bitcoin, wait, and I guarantee you 4 years from now, you'll know that was a good decision. Phil?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just, I'm looking through this list. We've got 45. There's 45 projects, and I'm gonna keep an eye on this list, because you know what? Maybe at the end of the year we can total up all the rug pulls, and let's figure out. We can also figure out how many of these projects were audited versus the ones that weren't. Right? Not that it matters. It makes no difference. But again, it's just to help illustrate the point that these are total scams, and their use case is exactly what I said last time. The use case of these products is to steal your money. Rug pull is the technology. It's not a side effect, okay? It's not a mistake. That's what the tech does. Anyways. All right.
Oh, amen. But yeah, bro. Anyways, gives us good source material. Yeah. That's the good news. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review.
All right, everybody. The meme for today is brought to us by one of the most toxic plebs on Bitcoin Twitter, Stony Bison. You go follow him at Stony1. Anyways, just check out his meme. Congress before Bitcoin. We all voted for corruption. Congress after Bitcoin. Please stop calling, tweeting. We've been debating shit amendments for 30 hours. And of course, this is referencing essentially, the Treasury trying to sneak in this provision, but they didn't realize that this decentralized immune system of angry ass plebs and honey badgers would fight back. They had no idea how hard we would fight back, and we fight by that, and that's exactly what we did. We fought back like hell. Anyways, for that meme, Phil, I'm going to give it this handwritten note by Rick. And he says, thank you.
Spoke to Rick, by the way. Asked him how much it would cost to get one of those microphone covers. At this point, I've just lost all shame. Yeah,
what did he say?
Just tell me what it's going to cost for me to get me one of these freaking microphone covers. And apparently, I'm not as special. But it's okay. No, he was telling me. He was like, no, I was going to make one for you too. Apparently, they're very difficult to make. I guess it has to do with the shape and all the, the intricacy with the holes and everything. Anyways. Love the meme, okay? Totally agreed. And this weekend has been a pretty big shit show with what's going on, right? And you know what? This may seem kind of a little off, but who knows? Maybe it works. I'm going with a micro SD adapter. Ooh. Right? They every single micro SD card you get now, they pretty much all come with that adapter.
They do.
You know?
And it's weird because most computers have moved on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why are you still giving me this adapter that I don't need? But it works for my older computers.
Yeah, I guess. You know. Thank you, micro SD companies. We really appreciate it.
Thank you,
anyways, yeah, thank you, Sandus. You're so kind. But anyways, guys, do you agree with our scores? Do you disagree? Let us know down in the comments. Rate the meme. And, of course, join our Telegram group. Link us some memes to review. Because it's a meme review. That's what we do. We review memes. Bitcoin memes. Yeah. Anyways, okay. Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
It's also concerning that one of the other pay-for provisions, the one focused on cryptocurrency, focuses on an industry that's rapidly developing within the United States, that depends on a lot of innovation happening in the United States. One of these pay-for provisions seeks to bring in more revenue to the federal government, or at least to promise more revenue to the federal government, with the promise of requiring those who buy and sell cryptocurrency to treat it the same way as they would the exchange of securities. Mr. President, this is very different than securities. These aren't just stocks. It's something very different. It's a medium of exchange that, if adopted more widely, could facilitate a lot of economic activity and a lot of innovation within the United States of America. If, in fact, we pass this bill, mark my words, it's going to have a chilling effect on innovation within this sector. And what you'll see is the flight of innovation and investment related to innovation to offshore locations around the globe. You're going to stifle innovation. You're going to make a lot of people upset, and you're going to make Americans poorer.
Okay. So, there is, I'm going to give him the credit where credit is due. Senator Mike Lee, stating the obvious, right? Why the hell was this provision snuck in at last minute into an infrastructure bill? So clearly, Senator Mike Lee and other senators, right, they haven't had the time to read the 2,700 pages in the infrastructure bill, and it was meant like that on purpose. We fought back as a community. We had no idea how much of a voice we had. As Alex Gladstein said, right? Check out his tweet. What's most remarkable is that Bitcoin has developed an immune system capable of fighting government regulation at the highest levels inside the most powerful nation on earth, all without any centralized leadership. A peaceful but powerful incentive structure drives it forward, right? So we discovered that we had a voice. We made such a ruckus that the Washington Post came out with this article, how Bitcoin and shitcoins became a powerful force in Washington, right? After years of debate on how to improve America's infrastructure and months of sensitive negotiations between the White House and lawmakers, the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure proposal suddenly stalled, in part because of concerns about how government would regulate an industry best, again, this is the mainstream propaganda narrative, best known for wild financial speculation, memes, and its role, again, in ransomware attacks, right? It's not, saving the people of El Salvador millions of dollars from those parasitic rent-seeking entities, right? Again, right? But it just goes to show how powerful we are as a community, right? And it's exactly what Alex said. It's completely centralized. There's no leader, right? We just all came together to protect what's ours, right? But check this out. This was the sneaky part, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin and shitcoin brawl bogs down infrastructure, and this is where they revealed their cards. Yep. As Yellen and White House fight changes, right? This is exactly what we've been telling you last week, that the Treasury, Biden, and whatever, the Biden administration, and I might add, the Trump administration tried to do the same thing, right, are the ones behind adding in the crypto tax provision into the 2,700 page document, hoping that we wouldn't notice. But check this out. This exposed all the corruption. The Biden administration is pushing back against a last-minute effort by a bipartisan group of senators to limit a proposal in the infrastructure bill to increase federal regulation of cryptocurrencies. The fierce lobbying push helped stall plans to finish voting on the bill Thursday night, and now it appears debate will stretch into the weekend. Treasury Secretary, this is exactly what we said last week. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen spoke with lawmakers Thursday to raise objections to the effort led by Senate Finance Committee Chairman Ron Wyden and 2 Republican senators to weaken the legislation's. I love how they put weaken, right? To weaken the legislation's proposed cryptocurrency overhauls, according to 2 people who spoke on the condition of anonymity to share details of private conversations. Yellen lobbied Wyden about the matter. Now, why is Yellen and why is the Biden administration and why is the Treasury so concerned with this? Here is a thread by Jake Chervinsky, right? And he said everything was right on track. We were right on track to pass the Wyden-Loomis-Toomey Amendment to fix the worst parts of the bill, right? Those, and essentially what they're trying to fix is the terrible wording that would not exclude node operators. It would not exclude the Lightning Network, right? It would only exclude miners, right? Leaving a huge opening for the government to go after potentially Bitcoin businesses as they see fit. It would give the government a big stick, right? As a community, we reacted savagely. We pushed back, right? And this is the only provision they wanted to fix, right? Any person who, for consideration, is responsible for regularly providing any service effectuating transfers of digital assets on behalf of another person, right? And this is what he's explaining. The definition is widely broad. It captures nearly everyone in crypto, forcing them all to surveil users in order to comply with tax reporting regulations. Thankfully, some senators understood that the language in the original draft was unworkable. I might add, we caught this at last second, right? They added this 2 minutes to midnight, right? I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Shout out Senator Ron Wyden. Shout out Senator Cynthia Loomis, who spoke at the Bitcoin conference. And shout out Senator Toomey. They all said exactly what we showed you in the cold opening in the beginning, right? These DC politicians they don't know what they're regulating, okay, but they're doing it anyways. And as Jake points out, right, the Biden administration and the Treasury, right, they pushed Senator Portman to propose a competing amendment co-sponsored by Senator Warner. What is that competing amendment? As he says right here, right, good policy apparently isn't the priority. Instead, this looks like a continuation of the U.S. Treasury Department's embrace of warrantless surveillance and crusade against financial privacy in crypto, right? And I'm gonna end it with some original thought, right? Even though we made enough of a ruckus to have multiple senators propose amendments that offer a quick fix in the definition of broker, Schumer, right, did not allow any votes on further amendments due to politics, even though the effects of the current wording might have severe consequences on the Bitcoin industry in America. This tells me that the state already made its decision beforehand, and all the show over the weekend was to give an appearance we had a say. The Treasury, an unelected body, added this last minute and 2,700 pages specifically so we wouldn't have time to react. What they didn't expect was how quickly we noticed and how savagely we reacted. They exposed their intentions in the process and also showed us that our industry has much more influence than we originally thought. We might have lost this rigged game, but this was a Pyrrhic victory for the other side. It exposed the rot for all to see. For many of us, like myself, This is about something more than material wealth. This is about freedom we could hold for longer than they can print. All this did was strengthen our resolve because now we know without a doubt that the system is rigged and broken. Bunker down, boys. Take custody and run your own node. And just to add a cherry on top, right? Rules for thee, but not for me. This is an article from 2014. Yellen. I would forcefully oppose audit the Fed efforts. So she wants to audit our industry. She wants to audit our industry, right? She wants to put surveillance states. She used all the It's like our industry fought tooth and nail. We had Senator Toomey, we had Ted Cruz. We fought it, but it was always destined to lose. It was never meant. Our side was never meant to win this, right? The Treasury had this in their sights from the very beginning. They tried the same thing in the Trump administration, the same thing. They tried to sneak it in. We fought back savagely. We won that battle. This battle, they set it up in such a way that we had no possibility to win. But of course, they want to make it seem like we had a winning chance. And if they played fair, we would have won because the Toomey and Loomis amendment was supported by most. And the only reason that amendment isn't even being voted on is because Schumer used some political BS to essentially not allow any further amendments to be voted on. Right? But the Portman and the one that's supported by the Biden administration, supported by Yellen, that would give the government more power, of course, that one was allowed to be voted on. This is utter bullshit. This shows the utter incompetency and corruption that is in DC. Okay, this tells me we need more Bitcoiners in Congress. We could hold them out. We will win this because they have shit money and their only solution to all of this is just print more money. And now I might add one last thing, Phil, before I shut up. The government spends 3 times more money than they collect in taxes. They've been collecting more taxes every single year, year after year since 2009. But they keep spending more money than they collect in taxes. We do not have a tax collecting problem. The government has a spending problem. And the reason they have a goddamn spending problem is because they have a fucking money printer that allows them to pay for everything. And Bitcoin is a challenge to that. And they know that, which is why they use this corrupt BS finagling to get this shit through. So what they did was declared war, and they declared war on a fucking army all around the world that are standing for something more than material wealth. We are standing for fucking freedom, and we will win this goddamn fight. These are evil fucking people, Phil.
Yeah, wow, man. I just... It's so disgusting and it's so despicable, and the reality is that it makes no difference if it's Janet Yellen or some other muppet that they put in front of the camera to spew their crap. Look, we all understand this, right? It's exactly what you said. It's rules for thee and not for me. And the point is that these are all just a bunch of paid shills. And the sad thing is that these people hold humanity in such contempt that they are willing to actively help enslave their fellow humans so that they can continue to retain whatever, whatever power they think that is so important. I mean, people like Janet Yellen, she doesn't have any actual power. She's just a muppet they stick in front. Don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, it's kind of like when they try to sell you a fucking box of cookies, right? And they put this sweet old lady on the box to make you think of home and mom and this and that. And it's like, oh yeah, that's right, sweet old lady. She's here to, for our best interests. It's like, no, they're not. Okay, this is a show. Okay, it's just a show that they put on, right, to make you think, like Nico, like you even said, like what happened this weekend, it was just a show that they put on. Chuck Schumer, all of these people, these are all paid shills. These are all scumbags, okay? They're all scumbags, and the reality is that they fear that they will have to provide value without their money printing. And guess what? They will. These people right now, we are going through this because we have offset so much of our personal responsibility to these quote unquote trusted parties that we now have to sit here and fight for our freedoms to come back. We actually have to, through personal responsibility, have to take back our freedom. And it's very difficult. And all this because we wanted things to be a little bit easier. But this is the problem, okay? When you have a faceless entity with no responsibility and no repercussions to mindless spending, we cannot expect that our best that our best intentions are what is what to come. It just isn't. They are going to do what's right for them and their small circle, and us and our families. You can go pound sand. That's what we can do. We can go pound sand and be poor.
Yeah, it's man, it's infuriating, and it's infuriating because I was one of the ones that got played. I advocated like, call your senator. And I think that we made enough of a ruckus that it freaked them out. They had to reveal their corruption. They had to reveal their deep state power. Right? They had to reveal it. Janet Yellen isn't elected. She's an unelected bureaucrat. What is she doing influencing senators on legislation, even though those senators have no idea what Bitcoin is and how it works? And you heard it from Senator Mike Lee in the beginning. What are we doing regulating an industry we know nothing about? This is the level of corruption. They exposed themselves in the process. This is why I called it a horrific, or I can't pronounce that word, victory for them. Yes, they might have won this battle, but in the process, they exposed the goddamn rot in their core. They exposed it for all to see. They say, we're not going to play fair. You might have, everyone calling, you might have all this support. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're not even going to allow it to vote. We're not even going to allow your amendment to vote. Nah. It's like that. It's not even democracy at this point, man.
No, this is totalitarianism. This is like, these are all the steps, man.
It totally is, man. Yep. This is bullshit. But listen, guys, the good news is we could hold out much longer than they can print money. Okay? Because their only tool to fight us is to print money. That's the only tool they have left. And that tool is running out. It has diminishing returns. It's not giving as much oomph as it used to, And Bitcoin and the honey badger doesn't care, keeps churning out a block, and number go up technology keeps doing its thing, right? Yeah. So it's just a matter of time, right, where enough people, right, in Senate, are attracted to exactly what Alex Gladstein said, to the incentives of Bitcoin, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, man. But again, we've been saying this is the then they fight you stage. We thought we could win, by how you're supposed to win, which is by contacting your senator. Nope, that's rigged. So you're gonna have to win the hard way. Bunker down, take your Bitcoin off of exchanges if you already haven't done so. Run your own node, and if worse comes to worse, we'll have a Bitcoin circular economy. And I'm gonna steal your line, Phil. These people do not get to win.
It's true. They don't.
Oh, man. Okay. But anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. What are you telling me?
God! Thank God there was a software release. We just poured a whole lot of misery into everyone's Monday. All right, guys, we've got Umbrel version 0.4.0 that was released. That is a super sexy Bitcoin node. And yeah, it works for the Raspberry Pi. Anyways, down below in the show notes, check it out.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing, there's so freaking many. The catastrophic fiat government, shitcoin, PhD economists, man, dictators, everything. And the Bitcoin news from the pleb perspective. Definitely consider subscribing. And of course, guys, we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
They can't hide the PSYOP.